A lot of IDs or even homeowners themselves, they always overlook the hardwares.
Few people will consider it as something that's central and important to the renovation process.
When the things are good, you will not notice that this is important.
And there are things that I think the local market is very resistant to accept.
But we know and understand the usage of the homeowners locally and in Malaysia as well.
How long is this warranty?
Lifetime, and this we honor.
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of the SIXiDER Show, where we ask tough questions to the designers, merchants and vendors related to the interior design industry in Singapore. I'm your host, SD Ng, aka The Designer, and joining me here today, we have a brand, a representative from a brand that has been around for a very long time, a 老字号 even. And so welcome Anson from Excel. Yay!
Hello.
Anson, you want to share a little bit more about Excel, yourself, and the role that you play in this company?
Sure, thank you Ashley for inviting us to SIXiDER Podcast. My name is Anson. I'm from Excel Hardware and also leading the team for Excel Preferred Partners. So later on, I'll share what is about our preferred partners to know more about in Excel. So for Excel has been founded since 1998 by my founder, Mr. Kevin Choa, and alongside that shared the dream together with Kaden, which is our marketing director. So this is actually from way back. We were started off in a small little warehouse in Sungai Gadok. So it's like a very industrial area. So after around probably a year or two, Mr. Kevin actually moved out to Northlink building, where is back then was a very new building in industrial. After so many years, I think right now is 27 years already for this Excel hardware that has been running. We are still in Northlink building, and from a small warehouse, we actually built up to 2 floors, brand experience centers that we actually invite a lot of our interior designers or homeowners to actually pop by, and we do actually do events during our brand experience center area.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of, how should I say, movement and transition and evolution. When I first knew about Excel, right, it was when I first 踏入这一行, as I entered the industry. Back then, there were certain brands, like there's this brand, not sure whether you know, Osblos.
可能我还年轻。
Yeah, so that was another one, which is a local brand. And then after that, then you have Excel. And then Excel, always remember lah, because we're all using Microsoft Excel. So this was the thing that we connected law. And to a certain extent, after many years, right, Excel has become a household brand for many designers, especially local wise. And why did your dad decide to go into hardware?
I believe Kevin's my dad 很奇怪的叫我 dad. Usually when we were working, we will say, 老板你好, something like that. So we are quite professional once we step into Excel hardware. Yeah, so back home then we just, 老爸, something like this. But what my founder wants to actually be a medium of education where consumers can actually purchase the products and owns their product, and they can actually choose what they want, that they can actually hold it for a lifetime and durable and sustainable products. So that's 他的理念啦. I'm in my 30s, so maybe when I was like super young, when my father or mother, when they are quarreling, they actually bang the doors, bang, you know, very angsty, right? And then my dad was like, maybe I should do something, since I'm selling hardwares, I should do something that, when your mother biang, I will not be angry because it's soft closing. So from non-soft close hinges that he actually bring in soft closing hinges until these days under Cadence lead, right? Actually, he wanted to have it in stainless steel because Singapore is a very humid country, humid and hot. All right, so it's not like dry country that in European style, they can actually use just normal steel material that can last for a long time. Yeah, that's why we were like, every single now and then, we receive homeowners that actually ask, hey, why does your hinges get rusted? Yeah, then we actually went into a lot of testing with TÜV and SGS also. So to make it much more longer rust resistant, so we came out with our stainless steel hinges. Yeah, so it actually evolved into this stage already. Then Cadence still like, I want to be something that I want to do something, a trend in the market. So like 没有人有的. So we actually researched and our R&D to make it probably the world's first matte black stainless steel hinges, which we call etichetta. So that's a back-end story of what Excel is, and we actually aim to be the Singapore's #1 legacy for our safety cabinet hinges.
With that, right, about the stainless steel and the durability, right, I actually itchy backside one time, right, and I actually took your stainless steel product to do my own testing. For some people who know, I actually like to do unboxing of the renovation products. And one of the things that I tried to do was actually to put it in the cabinet for my fish tank. And then the fish tank is actually not the normal fish tank, it's actually saltwater aquarium. What I did was I actually used the XL stainless steel hinge. And of course, I still add on an extra layer of oil. I spray it. But out of the 4 hinges, there's one that I left alone just to see how the thing react. And after about a year or so, right, the one that is not sprayed with the oil had a few spots, but the spots was something that I could actually rub away. The rest with the oil coating that I sprayed on, right? Firstly, no salt accumulated on it, and second, there is no stains whatsoever. And that really got me to believe that the stainless steel that you're using is real. Because anybody who owns a saltwater aquarium will know that, especially at the below cabinet, right, the hinges would spoil very quickly. One. Yeah, so that was a real test, and it really worked. So I was quite impressed with that. With what you mentioned just now about Caden being the one that actually push Excel to another stage, which is evolving, and then now you are also championing Excel. What is the next stage of the direction or maybe the core philosophy for Excel moving ahead?
Our mission, like what I said earlier, to be the number one Singapore legacy of safety cabinet hinges, but our vision is to actually connect, be the vital link to connect our businesses and community together. So that's why we actually have our 300 over Excel preferred partners. Yeah, then they are actually our very close group inner circle in Excel hardware. So in this market, there is probably in Accra Bisfal, they are probably, I think the last time I checked 2 years ago was 5,000, but recently my team actually they check is probably 8,000 over companies that is registered in Accra Bisfal that is under renovation. So be it if they are carpenters, contractors, or interior designers firm, they probably is about 8,000. Then reputable one and probably really working and actively doing renovation, probably 1,002 to 1,004 companies. But with reputable firms with their showrooms and all that, probably 500-600 in the market. So we actually screen down that these 300 over Excel preferred partners that can actually have full support from Excel. So like, be it on our products, be it on our services, and we always strive to get our 300% service. So this is like our area's value and Epic's culture in Excel hardware, our own like DNA. Like what you said, thank you for testing out our stainless steel hinges. It was impressive. Even myself, I do have clients that they also tested. Homeowners always have this misperception. Oh, stainless steel, they will not rust. Yeah, stainless steel shouldn't be rust. But actually stainless steel will still rust, be it what kind of gradings of the stainless steel. So there is like SUS 304 that we usually use for our cutleries, our stainless steel plates and all that. The higher grade is at SUS 316, and even our screws that we provide in every single hinges that we give is at SUS 430, a much more hardened, high temperature heat on it for a hardened screw.
So it's a complete
set.
Yeah. So it's not just the housing. I would suppose the spring inside, any parts that require bearings, and even the screws as a complete set, everything is the same grade of stainless steel.
Yes, correct. But the screws that we provide is actually a different grade of stainless steel, a much more high, because carpenter, when they usually do the battery drill, yeah, it will tarnish. If you're using SUS 304 screw, it will tarnish this
because as this screw, they wear out the...
Yes, correct. So a lot of homeowners do not know. And we also do have a lot of cases where we went on site to change, because we give a promise. If let's say our stainless steel hinges get rusty, 1-to-1 exchange, and this we honor. Yeah, so every time when we went down, we actually check on the screws, the whole entire hinge, the screw rust first. It's not the hinge. Then we found out it's actually carpenters are using their own screws.
Yeah, because 顺便嘛. This one is, I can attest to this. Usually the carpenters will have one bag, they will have one bag, and then inside is the open one box and you take the screw. The hinge and the screw that you can't provide means it's in another bag that they had to cut, take out, and then put together. And usually 省
takes a
麻
long
烦
time.
they just take
Yes,
that one.
correct. So it's very troublesome, and I do have my interior designers. 不好意思, yeah, they usually will help the carpenters to unbox one by one on the hinge and take out the packaging of the screws. And they're like, oh, 太麻烦了, Anson, can you do something and all that? But we have thought of how we can do for our packaging, but it's just that why we need to have it packed every singular, even the covers on towards the hinge have to separately pack because this is to protect the covered layer of the stainless steel. That is why when you were testing out the hinges in the tank, yeah, you will actually see a very high density of salt will actually get it rust, but it takes a long time to rust. Yeah. Then if you really take care of the hinges, like when we buy branded bags, all that, you will take care, ma.
Put olive
yeah,
oil.
Put oil, not olive oil, lah, but you'll protect it, right? So it's the same thing because hinges, when you protect it with the oil, it also will not get rusty so easily. So it's all about how the usage of the consumers.
Hey, if you made it this far into the episode, I've got news for you. We must have done something right. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, it doesn't bite. Give this episode a like, unless you're one of those people who enjoy renovation nightmares. Then, maybe don't. And if you know someone about to renovate their home, thinking of hiring a designer, or just want some honesty about the industry, share this with them. Send it to your group chat, heck, forward it to your in-laws. We won't judge. This is the SIXiDER Show, where we design with purpose, ask the questions no one dares to ask, and spill the plaster, not just the paint. Subscribe, like, share, or risk being ghosted by your renovator again. Let's talk about hardware as a typical, in the course of renovation, typically few people will consider it as something that's central and important to the renovation process. It's almost like it's an unsung hero, right? Like you will think about how it look first. Then the second thing is how is it assembled. Then the last thing is you will think about the experience, right? The experience, like the slow closer. But of course, people today are more savvy. They know that it's not just the look. The complete thing is that slow closers and all that. And we have evolved from that evolution where doors used to slam to now slow closer. So much so that it's a norm already. But these things are like what you mentioned just now, like the hinge and the screws comes as a complete package and all that. I'm just asking the question in the sense that all these are really not noticeable. A few people know, the people in the trade will know. But even as what we have just talked about, the people in the trade know, but sometimes they still 贪方便. They prefer to not, go out of the way to do something. I'm just thinking like and challenging you in the sense that how can these so-called unsung thing or things that goes undercover, right? Can Excel actually find a way to get this message out there and let people know that for the thing to not only look good, last long, and perform well, there are many things that you need to consider, and hardware is one of it.
Yes, so a lot of first-time homeowners, when they started to renovate or looking for interior designers, contractors to help them to get their quotations and all that, they will actually kind of put this aside. Yeah, because to them it's not like an important thing. It's like, oh, my ID will provide me. Yeah, I don't really need to know what is the brand that I'm using. Yeah, I just want to know whether, for example, the drawer tracks can work well or not, or the hinges will not rust. That's it for me. But when the things are good, you will not notice that this is important. But when the thing turns like probably soft closing became fast closing, yeah, then you will know that, oh, actually this is actually quite important because it will actually affect my daily life. Like, when I close the door, it will bang, or the bathroom the bathroom cabinets get rusty for the hinges. So what we Excel do is for our preferred partners, we actually do on-site complimentary warranty for homeowners. Yeah, so any stainless steel product that rusts, we will go down, our own in-house technician will go down to do the rectifications, and we will also bring the new products in case we really need to change one-to-one on site.
How long is this warranty?
Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Like until 25 years, 50 years down the road, lifetime. Yes, this is only complimentary on our preferred partners where homeowners engage designers through our EPP. Which is our Excel preferred partners, and they can actually source our Excel preferred partners on our website. They can actually see who are our preferred partners, and we have 300 preferred partners of them.
So basically, this exclusive support is only available to those who you recognize in your community of designers and contractor firms that have met the standards,
Correct.
then they are called the Excel EPP, Excel Preferred Partners.
Yes, because they will go through our trainings, our workshop, and they will, in their quotations that they actually give to homeowners with their contracts, they also will see the EPP badge on their own quotation. So if they are not our preferred partners, they are they are not available to use it.
Now I'm going to ask this question. May sound offensive, but I'm actually just trying to get to the bottom of things. There will be people who 崇洋, and they will always say that, Excel is a local brand. There are other brands, German brands out there, European brands, for example, let's say Bloom, let's say SIXiDER, or even Japanese brand, there's Sukatsune, right? These brands, right, are also quite reputable. How do you think Excel stands, toe to toe, against them?
I mean, this is a very fair question because even myself, not talking about hardwares lah. 我在 Excel 工作的可以讲，对不对？ Yeah. But even myself, I like to purchase things from overseas, and I myself was not in Singapore for more than 10 years. Yeah, like working overseas lah. So I do understand how Singaporeans feel that overseas brands are actually more prestige and all that. But come to this, Excel is a local brand, and I think 2 years ago we got our Made with Passion, and what we can actually afford is we have our own local team to actually have our own R&D and also our own in-house technician to help our homeowners to serve their house and rectify any issues if they actually engage any issue on our products, or even carpenters if they are very difficult to install. Hey, this is your new product. I don't know how to install. Can you help me? So we will send down our technician to go down virtually or even face-to-face at the job site. Yeah, this is how we differ us with other European brands.
Which means that you have your own manufacturing capabilities.
Yes.
And these are not OEM, nor are they white label. I see.
Yeah. So even if European brands, they actually do have their manufacturing plant also in China. Yeah, or probably in Vietnam. And we know them as well. Yeah, so it's the same like Apple, the watches, your phone. They are designed in US, but they are actually made from China. Yeah, and their packaging and everything. So this is how we can help our Singapore market to bring down the cost level for renovation for hardwares. Yeah, if you really need to buy from European brands, of course their cost is much more expensive.
In the world of building and construction, right, I think there's this saying that, or rather Singaporeans to a certain extent are quite guilty of favoring Western brands. Like in our trade, there are other brands like Bloom, then there are also SIXiDER, Sukatsune from Japan, and many, many more. I think recently China brands are also coming like Hygo and all that. And Excel, right, has to, fight with these people, toe to toe and be competitive. Like, what makes you so sure that Excel's product can, fight with the European brands or fight with the overseas brand?
First and foremost, I feel like this overseas brand came into Singapore, be it they are European or maybe from China. It actually gives Excel the opportunity to learn a lot of things. We don't really find that as a threat. We actually find it as enhancement to us. Yeah, so for what Excel over here that we know is that we understand locals and how they actually use their things in their kitchens or even in their bedrooms, their wardrobes and everything. So what makes us outstand, I believe, is the things and the back end of our R&D department, that they will actually go all the way, deep dive down. For example, these drawer tracks, why I need to put in this way. For our kitchen basket, why I need to have in different designs compared to European brands or brands from China. Yeah, because we will go and test out, install, and then testing while we are cooking, while defrosting some of the things. What will it affect the hardware that get rusty, or can it be actually longer rust resistance?
I have something to add to that, and I agree with you. I think the thing about our Asian, especially Singaporeans, right, base cabinet, what we always put plates, and then the thing is, housewarming people give a lot of plates. So maybe versus European counterparts, right, is that you have to design products that can tahan not just the plates, but the container that holds the rice.
Yes.
Right, which Angmos don't eat rice like us one. So there's a lot of heavy weight when it comes to this kind of hardware that goes inside a kitchen cabinet. And I noticed that because when I was practicing as a designer, right, of course I've serviced Westerners, I've also serviced Singaporeans and all that. Very distinctly you can tell, right, the Asian kitchen cabinet and then the Western kitchen cabinet, the needs and requirements are very different one. So what you're saying is that your R&D takes into account this very localized usage, and you will actually develop products for that.
Yes, correct. Because like in Singapore, we have the 四大种族 then maybe more and more coming out other foreigner like Thais and all that.
Hybrid.
Yeah. Hybrid already, right? Yeah. So back then, like especially Muslims, they really love to cook. They really love to invest a lot of their savings in their home renovations. And Excel, we encounter quite a huge number of Muslims that came to our showroom that I just want to test this out. I want to see whether I can put this in. And your lift down dish rack, can I actually put these very large plates? Yeah, but however, for European style, probably they might be having this to do it as sleek, as modern, as minimalist, but maybe the weight loads and probably how our local usage might not be into consideration. In Malaysia and Singapore, the boards, like the plywoods, they are using plywoods differently, but in European, they are using probably more on their European style of woods.
The HDFs and the melamines.
Correct, melamines and all that. So even the way of the usage of the hinges is also different. Yeah.
A good example is dish rack. Americans especially, right, once they finish eating, right, it goes into the dishwasher. So, and then whatever washing and drying, right, happens inside the dishwasher. So next time they take out the dish, right, it's most likely going to be from 常用的 dish, most likely from the dishwasher. So there's no use of a dish rack.
That is very true, because when I was out in Dubai for 6 years, I just everything put in dishwasher. 干净
Yeah.
Easier and simple.
杀菌什么?
And you can feel like the nyek sound, you know. Yeah, but then you get lazy. I don't even have a dish rack. Once it's clean, I will just place it inside my drawers. There's not even basket at all. It's just wooden drawers. Yeah, but in Singapore, it's different. Auntie, uncle 很喜欢省水嘛, like saving water, electricity. So they will tend to just dry over the dish racks. So more and more, like Singapore having a lot of these dish racks, but then we also implement into lift down dish racks that can help homeowners to actually more convenient.
Don't need to go up anymore.
No need to go up and
you just pull down.
Correct. And it's also not in the usual kind of aluminium kind of basket system. Our one is actually stainless steel and electroplated, which is in Chinese is called 电镀. Yeah, in black color. So it has a different finishing compared to usual pull-down dish racks. For example, 最简单的 like the basin and taps and probably the toilet bowls that are in matte black. But when you actually have water on it, you will see water marks. So these
water
spots on my end, I very OCD. That's why I don't want something like that. So we improvise our dish rack. Not only that is black and anodized, electric anodized, we also make like there's an emerald finish. So when there is water dripping on it, yes, there is still water spots there, but it will not be so visible. Yeah, but it can actually 不是说100%你看不到 water spots. When dry already, you will still see the water spots, but it will not be as obvious as this matte black.
And of course, the Singaporean, if there's still 老人家, usually there's a lot of maybe heavy cooking and also heavy washing. So really the Asian use is very different. And it helps really to understand that this is your clientele and you develop products based on that clientele. And I think that definitely helps Excel to stand out versus the competition. Because I really believe that at the end of the day, hardware is hardware. It's going to perform a function. But at the end of the day, why would you choose this over the other one? Is because this one has already factored for all this. And in the hands of a right designer, they would think about your usage and they will specify the correct parts to come together to serve the homeowner better. I think in the past, we always adapt. Like homeowners will adapt because this is how it was designed, this is how it was built. Especially condos, right? You buy condo, the thing is already developed. So if it's built like that, I just live with it until it's already, then I redo, right? Yeah. But because they have lived with it for 5 years, 6 years in this way, right? The next time the designer come in, they still resist to change one. They still tell the designer, hey, I want the same layout. Why? Even though it's a bad layout. So I think that really is the gist of why I'm getting to, which is basically if you have a person who is, or company that's, manufacturing their own product, right? It is their duty to really understand the homeowner's usage and to develop products to enhance the people's life. Because I always believe that if a well-designed space is supposed to work for you, not you work for the home. It should be like that. And hardware is like the 中西, the core of this, because performance is not by aesthetic, right? You know, see one kitchen cabinet, oh, it's going to perform well. No, it won't.
If let's say the hinges drop, for
Yeah.
example, then your whole kitchen will not look aesthetic
Correct.
anymore because your door is already missing from
Yes.
there. So this is what usually a lot of homeowners will not see this, and hardwares are actually invisible
Yes.
to them.
Yes. Yeah. The unsung hero. lah.
Yeah,
But it
correct.
makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about your evolution in terms of your hardware development. Besides the hinges, baskets, and all that, are you guys moving into things like post system, modular stuff?
Yes, we do actually. For post system, in Excel is actually quite a long time in the market. It's just that a lot of homeowners tend to still want traditional cabinet wardrobes, like 橱啊那一些.
Why? What do you think is like that?
They feel that can put more things, number one.
Okay.
Number two, they feel like if I do like modular kind, very open, then 很多 dust. Yeah, so there's a lot of what we actually encounter. A lot of homeowners actually spoken with us. But another part of homeowners, they really like Korean concept post system. Say, be it, I don't care. I don't want the cabinetries. I just want this post system because it can really fully utilize the entire space, not only the length, depth, and also the height. So all the way up. In like carpentry style, they probably will cover the phone call and all that. So it actually wastes the space. This is also one of my favorite products in Excel too, because I can customize in any way I like. Although it looks modular and part of our sustainability act, once you install in your old place, you want to remove and place it into your new house, you can do so too. Yeah. Then one part that we do is that apart from this modular, it can be fully customized with our accessories. So simply just by using our smart accessories recently that we have just launched, our Chow Azare, not only can use the button on it, you can actually use remote control or voice control by simply saying lift up, lift down, hello lift, yeah, something like this. Then you can fully customize and max out your entire ceiling height.
So it's a basic framework, then you can just add additional parts to it to optimize it, adding more features to it, like more shelvings. And then if you want it to have automations and all that, you can also add on more parts. And how to run the wires?
We will work together with interior designers that supply us with like those tripping plugs, socket points, or they can actually have their electricians to help us to do the connections. We will give them like how to actually to connect. So we will work hand in hand with them.
Because you mentioned sustainability, so what you're saying is that a wardrobe using a pole system is more sustainable, more 环保, more eco.
It actually is because number one, we are using aluminium. Number two, the boards and plywoods we don't use a lot. Because if you use traditional, there's like backings. You need to use
The housing.
the housing.
Carcass.
Yeah, you use a lot of boards already. Then for our one is like how many shelvings you need. We will just place it in. How many drawers you need, we will just pop it in. Yeah, I have homeowners that after like using 1 or 2 years, they say, hey, I want to add on your accessories. Can I add on towards my pole system? You can do it.
So they can grow with it.
Yes.
So right now, no kids, later got kids, they can just change it to a lower, because the kids hanging cannot go so high.
Correct. They can actually do that. And some of my homeowners, they actually like, hey, I remove my old one to my kids' room, but then there's excessive one. What can I do about it? I will ask them, how old is your kid? And say, right now it's about 6-7 years old, going to primary 1 soon, but then they will grow up eventually, like probably to secondary school and all that. Then I say, why not you can use 2 of the poles to make it like a study table. Yeah, you re-customize your drawers and all that. We can do that for you. These drawers or even the shelvings can be adjustable over the years, just with a simple Allen key. Yeah, then they can actually adjust to their heights.
Because for what I understand, it's just basically the brackets.
Yes, the brackets itself.
And then there are guides that you can actually shift up like leather like that.
Currently not guides, not like those AA tracks, but you need a human to actually to unscrew
to
it.
unlock it lah.
Unlock it, yeah.
But basically,
you can shift up any height you want.
Nice.
Yes. So
Okay.
it's very customizable for them. Yeah, and can use for long. And I have like one auntie was very funny. She's like, 我不要在我的房间了，可是我要拿你新的 pole system, cause our old one is oval shape. The new one is a bit more sleek and modern look and can put LED light also. So they are like, 我要我的房间 new one. I was like, okay, can. But 你的 old one 怎么办? And then she said that, 呀咯，所以我问你怎么办？要讲 never mind, you got storeroom in your new place. Then they are like, yo, then will you buy like those 铁架 or what? 呀 no, 我要浪费钱再买. Why not you use the pole system? Yeah, then with the shelving, I help you to plug, and you don't need to screw the holes on towards the floor or ceiling. Yeah, because sometimes bomb
push and
shelter
pull.
you cannot ma. Yeah,
Correct.
so you can actually put inside your storeroom. Yeah, and can be removable anytime. Yeah, so a lot of homeowners actually did that.
Thanks for that tip. I think a lot of people didn't think about that way.
Yeah.
I think they probably think that since it's aluminium, definitely can recycle.
Yes.
So that's definitely one option you can recycle. But beyond that is that you can find other places, right? And actually a lot of people are like that. If I buy my car already, then I got a son, he also got a license. Then I buy new car, like give him the second car. Same thing, right? It's the same thing. Yeah. So it makes sense. It makes sense. And I personally, I also like the post system a lot. But it's very demanding when it comes to like storage.
Yes.
The thing with doors is that you outside out of mind, closed door don't see. You can be messy. But when it comes to post system, it's about whether you are a good organizer or not. There's some organizational habit that you must have. And not everyone can be Ronald McDonald, the same clothes every day. Yeah. But if you can get past that, right? And I 100% agree with this, is that it is a very much better optimized solution than the typical wardrobe. And the best thing is, if you do customized carpentry and wardrobe, right, half the time you sit down with the designer, right, you plan your wardrobe, right, you are basing it on your past experience, so you don't know what you don't know. You only know what you knew last time, right? And the other thing is, because you've never planned a wardrobe, right, you most likely will regret what you're going to design later, right? Yeah. So post system gives you 那套后路啦。
是。
Right, so they can 后悔 never mind 再加再改。
You can actually maneuver your wardrobes into your own requirements and demand. Yeah, I do even have clients saying that 你可以帮我 configure 吗? I say can, no problem. So we Excel also offer this service to our preferred partners and even homeowners. Tell me your requirements. What would you like? Then we will actually plug in a configuration for you.
Besides the modular post system, right, what is another personal favorite product that you have?
Apart from post system, I think I like those kind of new smart system that we actually have. Apart from this child auxiliary that I mentioned about voice control, we also do have fingerprints and number locks for our Mosaic digital lock box that is battery operated. Then the latest one I really love is our Silenzio Real. That is a new thing, a very small little device. It can be attached to any cabinets or probably drawers, and is actually used by a Type-C charging point. By within 30 minutes, you can actually fully charge it. So what you do is actually when you press on it, your cabinet door will actually automatic came out. Then you can actually pull out. So after 1 or 2 seconds, this tag will actually retract back so that you can close your door automatically, like soft closing. Yeah, this is a latest one that we actually came out with.
So it's wireless.
Wireless.
It is the newer version of a slow closer. But it's not just a slow closer, it actually pops out.
Pops out. It's not soft closing.
Or it sucks it in.
Yes,
It's like the BMW 5 Series.
like a tic-tac, like a tap. But is tic-tac in the past is you need to do manually.
Yes.
Manually tic-tac to open.
Yes.
Manually tic-tac to close it. Yeah, but this one you just tap on it, it will auto come out. Alright, then you open your door. While you are opening your door, this tag has already retract back already. Then you just close your door normally. Yeah, like a soft closing. And you can also attach to your drawers.
I see.
So when you want to open your drawer, you just tap on it. It can actually push out. You pull out your drawer. While you are pulling out, the tag will actually retract back in, and you can do it as a soft closing.
Okay, so I can see two things about this really. Number one, the experience is more sophisticated. It basically means that you don't use it like typically you open it. And so it's basically a touch. So in terms of the sensation, right, it's a different one. Right? The second one is a little bit more aesthetic and design oriented. You can do away with handles. And you can do even away with the shameful edge handle. So basically your profiles can be all 90 degrees.
Correct.
So adding towards the design sophistry. So that's also nice. That's quite thoughtful. And that's actually quite evolutionary, considering that today there are laminates that are oil resistance or fingerprint resistance. And it's actually encouraging the user to touch, to feel the cabinet's laminate. And I think with this hardware, right, you're more willing to touch and you don't have to worry. So that's important because, like last time when we want to do cove lighting, right, we have to use T4, T5, right? And there are 4 feet. Yeah, then you see gaps.
Yeah.
If I want to do a curved ceiling, it's going to be jagged one.
Yeah.
But then got LED strip, and then it's flexible, and then it's bright enough. Then I can play with curves. And that's where design and technology come together. And then what you just described, right? I think in the hands of the right designer, there's a lot of areas that they can develop, they can think more, and that actually makes the design more exciting because it's not just about visual, it's about the experience as well. And I value that. Thanks for sharing that your favorite product on this.
No problem.
What do you think it's a difficult to launch product? I mean, you guys been around for 27 years, you mentioned. And there are things that I think the local market is very resistant to accept on. Are there things that they refuse to take on?
So apart from our preferred partners, we do have preferred craftsmen and preferred suppliers. So for Excel preferred suppliers, what we have launched, I think, end of 2023 and early 2024, it has been a really big challenge that we actually collaborate with these suppliers, preferred supplier, which is EcoPly, the lowest formaldehyde plywood in the market. And I believe a lot of homeowners, especially in this renovation trade, there has been a lot of CNA news coming out. Formaldehyde issue can cause leukemia, cancer, eyes irritations, and probably your throat irritations. And it really feels quite bad when you actually just finish renovated. In my experience, when I went to a job site that is using regular plywood, which is not even E0 or E1 plywood, my eyes will tend to
Water.
straight
Tear.
away tear,
Yeah.
like non-stop.
Suddenly become very emotional.
Very, yeah. I even have a ID friend who told me like, 我一进去我就感动流泪. Yeah, so I was like, I really went in and it really teared because my eyes is very sensitive and because LASIK before, so it's very, very sensitive. This is also a very big challenge when we actually first launched EcoPly because number one, the cost point is quite high compared to regular plywood. I can say probably 2 or 3 times more. Your renovation is probably at, let's say, 50,000. Then because of you're gonna use this low formaldehyde plywood, it will go until 70K or 80K, like another 30K because of this wood. But because of your health, you will like to invest into this. So when we first started, a lot of contractors actually give a very huge resistance. Yeah, but we actually overcome it because not very sure when was that CNA news came out, and it actually helped when this news came out for like, you know, I maybe you saw like the eyes that actually covered those kind. Then we start to actually more and more train with our workshops, with our interior designers, and let them understand.
It's almost like it's a response to the needs of the homeowners. By itself, do you not see that the trade itself, the people in the trade, right, they 自己自发 and realize that, hey, this is something that I should do. And the 推动力 is not as high until basically 事情发生了.
Correct.
And then the homeowner, because actually at the end of the day, they're the top of the food chain, right?
Yes.
Right? If there's no homeowners, we all don't have business already. So they are the ones saying that, hey, enough is enough, right? My eyes, my family, my health, my pets, my lifestyle, this needs a change. Then your product started to shift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how successful are you guys now in terms of moving this product?
I think most of my preferred partners are starting to either using our eco plywood because our preferred partners actually get the best deals. But for those who are not really into eco ply because they are actually quite expensive, they will use a sub plywood such as E0 or E1. But of course their formaldehyde levels are lower, but they still do not match with the World Health Organization at 0.08 ppm. Yeah, but why EcoPly is so confident and they even reimburse you 3 times if let's say it exceeds 0.05 ppm, which is still lesser than the World Health Organization standards. Yeah, so up to 30,000. That's why a lot of homeowners I rather invest in EcoPly. Yeah, 贵是贵一点, but it's for my health, it's for my family. I was willing to do it. And I even went down to homeowners' house to interview them. Why do you use EcoPly? Like, there's so many other brands out there in the market or other like E0 or E1, but why must be EcoPly? And it's very expensive. They say, number one, it's because we want it to be as safe level as possible. We do not want it to see like in the long run, if let's say I'm gonna renovate and the house, and because I choose a very poor material, it will cause a health issue to my elderly parents or my kids or my pets. I will regret. Yeah, that's what the homeowner told me. So I was like, those who really would like to actually invest in their health, they will really invest in EcoPly.
Now, we want to talk a little bit more about homeowners who are getting more and more savvy. They understand the industry sometimes even better than the designers themselves. And that's largely due to social media, the research. And early on, we were talking about the top of the food chain, right? Which are basically the homeowners. They saw the CNA post, they realized that hey, something is amiss. And those things that are described in the news talk about eyes watering and all that. The phenomenon has always happened, and then now they can relate. There's a reason. It's because of formaldehyde, and they take their knowledge, right, and they create the change. And so the IDs and the contractors, they respond to that change positively. That being said, of course, there are good news and bad news. Then there are also fake news as well. When people will see information either on things that they see on YouTube, TikTok, and maybe even on platforms like us, like SIXiDER, in other platforms as well. Do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing? And besides us, right, what about Excel yourself? Do you guys also respond to this? Are you also doing active engagement and education to the public?
Yes, this is actually what we have been experiencing. Like what you mentioned earlier, homeowners nowadays, especially the younger generation, they are more tech savvy. So like in social media, they know a lot of things. But be it is true or is it a fake news, we need to cross-reference first. And homeowners at their own time, they actually have to check whether these news are correct, is a true facts or is a fake news. For Weather Height, for that, CNA actually posted it out, so I believe everyone will know that is a genuine news lah.
Legit lah, from a legit source ma.
From a legit source, yeah. Then for Excel, our end is we have constantly homeowners who will send links to designers, and our designers will actually send it to us. Like, hey, Excel, do you have this kind of system? We saw it online. And
the Wang Hong type of videos.
Wang Hong videos,
Yeah.
influencers, or probably from all over the world.
Yes.
Yeah, not like, oh, does Singapore have this product? Do you know that? Or China, do you have this product? Or Malaysia, do you have this product? It's like can be all the way from the US. It can be from Italy, everywhere. Then they will share. And they thought like, in homeowners' point of view, they thought that, I saw this online, so I believe Singapore also have. But usually I will share with my IDs and even homeowners who came in and share us with the links. I say, this is a really very good system. And of course, our end as a manufacturing hardwares, we actually source for a lot of all these new systems as well. But it needs to come down to the R&D part, whether it can be used in the local market, number one. Number two, whether are we able to actually give the lifetime warranty. Yeah, because我们保你一生呢. Yeah, so we need to check whether during this system that we actually bring in an R&D, it can give you a lifetime promise or not. Homeowners wise, younger generation, they might think that 我看到这一个东西我就要放在我的 renovation. Yeah, but they do not know whether at the end, after 1 year or 2 years, is this product usable.
In this case here, the platform we're talking about could be TikTok, or it could even be Taobao or Lazada, right? Because they see it on TikTok, they see it on some Wang Hong talking about it. It could be in China, but that source or that product is not available readily in Singapore. And with what you're saying is that, okay, 我要保你一世嘛，对吗? So cannot suka bring in the product. We have to do our own R&D. Then what they do is they kanchiong, so they go and buy themselves.
Exactly.
So my question to you is, A, are you not losing out that business? And B, while you stick to your point of view, which is that 我要保你一世, this product needs to be, it has an Excel brand one, it needs to be reputable. Would you not lose out in that sense?
I don't think it will be a lose out because I do have homeowners that they really purchase from Taobao and they actually bring into Singapore, they use it. After 6 months, they came to our place. They're like, I have similar your product, but I actually buy it from Taobao. But the problem is I use 6 months, the inside the accessories all 断掉. Yeah, so or broken off already. But when I'm gonna purchase from Taobao again, I need to wait another long lead time. And I'm not sure whether the product is actually the same. Because what we actually found out in our manufacturing point of profession, we actually know that a lot of all these items that are in the market from China that is manufactured out, maybe this batch of products is good, but the same product, that different batch, their quality might not be there.
Correct.
Yeah, so it will lose out for homeowners. That's why for Excel, for our part, we actually do a lot of these stringent QC at our own manufacturing plant. Yeah, we do even have like the whole entire container that is readily gonna ship to Singapore, but because of the R&D not passed 退回掉. We have to actually apologize to my interior designers and also homeowners like why shipment delay can be delayed for a month or 2 months. Yeah, when we really sincerely apologize. However, what we want to actually give is the utmost quality for a lifetime for them. Yeah, cover a lifetime for them.
I remember a story about this. There was one period, there was this Wang Hong kitchen sink. A lot of things you can do. You can got basket lah, can wash the apples whatever lah. Then you can wash the cup one. You can also wash the cup. And a lot of this功能, but this thing is not in Singapore.
Correct.
And then eventually got some people bring in. But then I realized that really got different grade one. Like those kind of replica watches it also got AAA grade, right? Also got the A grade. And some is just basically knockoff lah. It looks like it, but actually very flimsy. The weight is not there. So it's the same thing, right? If you are buying from those kind of platforms, likelihood is you just score through and see who is the cheapest.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when it comes to the picture, right, they all look the same. They always use from the same source one. When the thing is delivered already, you got problem with it. And then because you're rushing to stay in, you use first. Use already, then you realize you integrate with the carpentry, or you cut a countertop based on that size, right? You put it in, only to know that this one is leaking, that one leaking, then problem again, more problem. So of course, going to a reputable brand and a local brand helps. The warranty helps. The other thing that I can think of that's similar 就是电器咯。电器 also, you buy online, then after that, who's going to give you support? So it's the same, I guess.
It's like I purchased once before, you know, this like standing 电器 hair dryer. I got very lazy ma. My mom want to like, you know, 每天吹我的头发，我的手很酸. So I purchased this like standing one, so she can sit there, use her phone, and the
just rotate the head.
just rotate the head only. But after probably usage less than a month, spoil already. Yeah, and it's not cheap also, you know. Yeah, maybe like 100 over $200. Yes. Yeah, Singapore dollars, but it's not cheap. Yeah, then 你用不到1个月就坏. Yeah, which is the same like for hardwares. Yeah, if you constantly like for our pull down, you keep constantly using, then one day your whole entire, if you purchase from somewhere for Taobao, whole entire basket actually fell off. It damages your top, your floor, then that will be more expensive.
Do you guys do content? Do you do contents to educate? Because like we talk about hardware being so invisible. Invisible got meaning on it. Usually invisible means that the product is doing its job already. Right? Then if you can realize that it's not invisible, it's usually when there's a problem. So that means in a weird way, in an ironical way, you actually have to do more to educate people. And what are you doing about it? And would you even consider, working with platforms to share messages, educational content, to talk about this?
If you've seen Excel social media, you might see a lot of my faces. Yeah, so we have been doing a lot of creative contents, not like boring contents like hardware 就是这样 or 那样, but we want to do something more playful, creative, so that homeowners can actually get the education from us.
While being entertained.
Yes, correct. And constantly in our brand experience center, we do have our presenter team to actually share out workshops for carpenters and also interior designers daily. Even our homeowners, if they have any questions, sometimes they'll pop by our social media or even our brand experience center to know more about our products.
Let's talk about your brand experience center. What can they expect to see there?
Oh, a lot of things. From kitchens to wardrobes to aluminium kitchen cabinets, and they can even smell of EcoPly, but there's no smell. Yeah, our wardrobe system and test out every single electronic stuff that we have, and our team will actually be there to assist them with their configurations. In our company, we have like this, we so-called like our own culture. So we will actually go down to with them and speak with the homeowners in a very respectful way and professional way to let them know, hey, new things you can actually incorporate, but you need to work with your interior designers, what can be done. So my team will also guide them like, have you engaged any interior designers? Some of them say yes. Then we will ask them, are they our preferred partners? We will share with them. So some of them say no, and they will actually ask us, where can I find your preferred partners? Yeah, do you have any recommendations? Then we will guide them through our website and educate them through our e-commerce platform too. Yeah, and all of our e-commerce on our website, homeowners can actually see every single details on our products. So it's like a hardware encyclopedia for our website.
Just now you were mentioning that there are more and more designers out in the market. When you first come back from your overseas and you start to interact, there were a few thousand, right? Close to 4,000, 5,000, and then now the numbers have gone up to 7,000. a very high likelihood is that there are new players in the market. Some of these are, we call them juniors or new business owners related. They are probably looking for, not exactly the best option, but probably the most affordable option. And what would you say to these designers who enter into this market and then they may not know Excel that well? How will you encourage them to know more about you? What would be your outreach?
As our preferred partners team, I will encourage them to look for more suppliers to see which other suppliers or vendors can actually assist them. Because when startup companies, they 真的很需要 supplier 的 support. Yeah, like vendors and all that. Because some of them might be in this trade for a while, but a lot of things like the back-end stuff, what is it that they can get? So I do have clients that, hey, I didn't know that through Excel preferred partners, my homeowners use your campaign. I can actually get my homeowner a lower cost in pricing. Yeah, this is number one. Number two, I never thought that as a vendor, as a hardware vendor, you can go all the way extensive out to help my homeowners to settle the issue if there's any problem. Because either it's carpenters or your hardware. What they know and they actually constantly come back to us is because or refer another ID firms of their friends. Like, hey, why not you go to Excel? Because we will actually go down to rectify every issue, even 是 carpenter 的问题。Yeah, but we usually won't say lah. we won't say that it's carpenter 的问题lah. We will say that never mind, we help you settle any problem. Come back to us. We will help you to resolve everything.
But they are new businesses, It's either that they had that experience while working for some other people and they have knowledge of your brand. But ultimately, they are a new business. Do they qualify? Can they qualify for your preferred partner? How much do they have to do? Or how much business do they have to give you in order for them to be considered as a preferred partner?
Depending on them. Yeah, because some of them probably are investing in us probably more than 6 digits. Some of them maybe investing 4 or 5 digits. Yeah, but depending how they want to upscale their company. For instance, some of them just want to start up to get the best deal for their homeowners. Some of them want to actually engage us to actually have more reputable brands for their events, or probably let homeowner know that, we have a lot of support from vendors that can help you to outreach to get you the best deal in the market. Yeah, so for a vendor side, we can help as much as possible.
Is there a channel that they can go to? Do you have like an online form that they can fill up so that they can begin the conversation with you guys?
Yes, they actually can book an workshop with us. They have to go through this workshop before they can actually onboard us as our preferred partners.
I see.
Without this, they do not know what they are using. Yeah, so if let's say, you can just onboard with us. Yeah, you got cash money, 所以不要做生意嘛. You got cash money, no problem. But whether you put in already, will you use it? Will your homeowner use it? Or will your designer knows how to function it?
So the preferred partner is not just a badge.
Yeah.
Right. There is a purpose behind it.
Yeah, they have to go through all these intensive workshop so that they will know. And while we actually collaborate for for quite a while, or even long years, and this EPP actually started since 2018. So until now, probably it's about 7 years already. So we have been assisting every single one of them. And if my EPP have any new ideas that can come by to me, like telling me, Anson, can I have this new product? Can I give you a bit of suggestions? We actually take in all this feedback very seriously. Yeah, and we do the R&D and everything.
In recent years, right, we're seeing the rise in CNC-based, modular, customized carpentry. And then this is largely contributed by the China side. In the past, from the Euro side also have but more expensive. And in Singapore, the more reputable brands would be like your Kitchen Culture. Yeah, because they have the modular system. And then, of course, there will be those dedicated brands that do the post system. And then, but now you're seeing China side trying to come in, and then brands like Opine, Z-Bomb, Bologna, and these are systems that not just basically build the carpentry, they've integrated hardware as well. Do you see this as a challenge, not just for the designers, but also for your hardware industry as well?
Definitely there is a challenge, but we find it as much more opportunity for us. Because a lot of this modular carpentry, they actually offer speed, consistency, and probably very competitive in price, which can appeal to homeowners that want fast, free, or easy convenience for them. But these firms, they actually encounter one point that is not quite flexible. For example, if you have this modular system, but your house, you have a different layout. And you cannot cover everything with this modular.
So
you
the
have to
odd shape
waste
lah.
the space. You have to waste the entire space. So if like you have like a round shape, but then you put this modular system behind that round shape, is all useless already. So homeowners actually will not get the best value from this modular system. However, of course, they have their hardwares. They can import from overseas, like what I mentioned before. Batch by batch might not be consistency on the quality itself. Yeah, but for Excel, we actually 非常注重这一点。
So you say you have the chance to learn. What exactly are you looking for when you say that you get the chance to learn about their things?
So now we do have like our current concept post system. It's modular, but we also make it as flexible as possible. So in this case, we also came out with our aluminium kitchen cabinet, which is by one of our preferred suppliers, Alumless, where they have 100% aluminium or even compact aluminium. So all of these, it can also be customized, and it can also be modular. I've been to the factory and they actually customize out into modular system. The carpenters installer just have to come to your house and install module by module. So these are the parts that we are also learning from our competitions.
So module is not a bad thing, especially when the layout is predictable. But where customization is concerned, is usually reserved for odd layouts. And because Singapore's largely is the privates, the privates you will have that range of odd shapes. But typically HDB quite stable.
Typically, yes. But I encountered one of the site before that this homeowner told me that, oh, my whole entire house, this is all modular system. But then my top part, right, is totally all cannot use because they need to actually cover everything. Yeah, so because the modular have only certain heights.
Yes.
Yeah, so homeowners have to take note on this lah. If they don't mind, then they want a hassle-free and easy, fast modular system, they can actually choose that. But you really want to maximize the whole space where your HDB or BTO is already very small, then why not go and look for something that is much more flexible for you, where interior designers can actually assist.
So we know that your parts that are manufactured by yourself, but these are manufactured in China?
We do have from China. We do also have from Italy. We also have from Korea. Yeah, and we not only doing our trade in Singapore, we also supply to Malaysia and probably Indonesia. I think quite a number of countries that we actually supplied to. I think the one of the furthest one was Venezuela, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, because we have overseas clients that actually look up on us and check in with us and want our products to be at their country.
Would you say that the products that's manufactured specifically from the China side one, are they, again, this idea of 崇洋, would you say that they are more inferior to your Italian-made products or your European-made products?
It depends on homeowners, to be honest, because there are some homeowners say, I want China one, 因为他们的东西真的很好. Something like this. Some of them, they want like Italian brand, they want German brands. Yeah, because they know the brand. Yeah, and it's been in the market for very long. So they trust that brand. So to us, Excel, as a local company, we don't really specify on which brand that they should go and use as long as they are comfortable using it.
The point here is there is no biasness when it comes to whether it's China or not. It is your brand. It's the brand that counts. And you stand by your lifetime warranty.
Yes. Fun fact of our stainless steel hinge, when we started off was manufactured in Italy, there is no 3D adjustment. You're in this trade, you will know. Yeah. But maybe homeowners don't know. Yeah, the hinges can adjust easily. But when we manufactured in Italy, it was only 2D. So it goes back to probably my father's era time, where you don't have this 3D adjustment. But carpentries in Singapore and Malaysia, they are used to this 3D already, 3D adjustment. So this stainless steel hinge, we collaborate with Italy factory together with our China factory and combine so that we can actually have these stainless steel hinges and also in 3D adjustment.
So in a way, you taught the Europeans.
Kind of. Collaboration makes everyone better.
Yeah. Then that's exactly the point of what we were talking about, which is like the local climate, right? The local way of using, right? There are things that we would do it differently, right? And so with the manufacturing capabilities and your understanding in R&D, to a certain extent, right, you can customize things that people in Singapore would use and will gladly pay for it.
We know and understand the usage of the homeowners locally and in Malaysia as well. For example, I think there might be audiences that they are doing business online. They might not only purchase things from China itself or from US itself. They might also combine into one whole package and give it out to the market. So this is how we help to resolve the problems.
Nice. Okay, Anson, we're coming back to the last part of the show. And for vendors, we don't have tough questions. We're going to have quick fire questions. And it's just basically to let people understand more about the brand or maybe yourself a little bit better. Because they need to know right now you are 诈骗 already, right? So to a certain extent, especially for the B2B side, if you want to go and get your preferred partner badge and also at the same time learn more about Excel and to integrate it to project, you need to speak to Anson. And she's the person to go to. Beyond that, I think people, maybe they need to know you a bit more. Let's go straight to the questions. So we have 3 questions for you. The first question is, if Excel were to be remembered for one thing in every Singaporean's home, what would you want that to be?
As a hardware supply vendors, and through my experience, be it not in Excel, probably my past experience, I want people to know Excel of us being customer centric. And we constantly always share with my team that you need to be not only 100%, not only 200%, but 300% customer service to the homeowners and IDs.
What do you mean by 300%? Why so specific 300?
100%不够吗？
Yeah, 200 okay lah.
But 300% why? Because I used to be in airline. Yeah, so I know that sometimes 100% or 200% is really not enough. You really need to, from the start to the end, assist the customers, resolve their issues and even their emotions. Yeah, so at vendor's point of view, I know that interior designers, like if they engage us, we are only probably their little kacang putih only, because we are one part of the vendors. They have so many contractors. They have so many vendors. What makes them, I want to use Excel? Yeah, it's because the service that we provide to them and we help them to settle as much problem as possible. Every renovations, definitely there's issues. 不可能是100%完美, there's no issue. For Excel side, we don't blame whose problem it is. As long as within our expertise that we can help, we will go all out, go the extra miles to assist and resolve the issue.
I think I have a way that you can frame it. From what you say, right, it inspired me to think why 300%. And what you are describing, it almost sounds like the beginning, the middle, the end. The hardware product is firstly through the education, which is your beginning, the first 100%, where you introduce the product, you educate, and eventually you sell, right? And then as you sell already, right, there is the execution to install and how they install it, which is your second 200%. And then the last 100%, which is your 300%, is when the product's finished, it is still doing its job. And if need be, and when the button is pressed, Excel is still there for you. Meaning that the 300% is a complete cycle in your service from the beginning of from selling right down to post renovation, which I think is meaningful lah, because 至少你不是 like sell already 拍屁股 and it's done, right? There is that serviceability, there is that relationship, and then that's why I think that your preferred partner scheme is actually very successful, because the community of designers has always been interacting very well with you guys.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, let's move on to the second question. Right? What's next do you think would be in store for Excel? Any new exciting launches, collaboration that you're excited about?
So earlier we have mentioned Excel preferred partners. We also have mentioned that Excel preferred craftsmen, they are carpenters. And I think I brought up a little bit of Excel preferred suppliers too. So we will be incorporating with a lot of upcoming collaborations with our Excel preferred suppliers, and on our website, under the Excel preferred suppliers page, you all can see quite a list of different suppliers. Like probably like there's Undigital Locks, there's Ecoply, Alumnus, or even some other like Line 8. Yeah, so homeowners can actually purchase directly from there, and we will actually bring in more new things, not only by hardwares, but probably like smart homes, sound system. You guys can also purchase from there. We like to connect, as Excel is a platform where homeowners, number one, I want to do renovation, I will go up to Excel to look what is there new things in the market that I can incorporate in my renovation. That's our aim lah. Q4, we will be launching our ever first champagne or rose gold color products.
Wow. So that means
apart from matte black is already like Okay, to us,
already.
to us, sian already. Yeah. So although matte black is still a little quite sophisticated and all that, but there are some portions of homeowners that, I don't want so dark one. I want something lighter in color. But if you do white color 很容易肮脏，对不对？
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably champagne or rose gold color to be looking more aesthetic.
For those who prefer the more softer feminine look, definitely will go for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is one part that we are very excited about.
Yeah, maybe we can take some samples and then install it to our
可
carpentry
以，
here.
没有问题。
Lastly, right, and then I think this is a very important question for me because I'm a designer and I want to hear from a hardware manufacturer and supplier, right, from your own mouth and your own thinking, right, what would you consider a good designer? I mean, what are the things that you can identify and say, 这个人有2把刷子, 3把刷子?
For me, good design means good planning at homeowners centric point of view. Fun fact, I used to help in the contracting one of my friends before, doing renovations. After coming back to Singapore, there is this homeowner who still got my number and asking me, do you still do renovation? I'm like, 没有了，不好意思，我现在卖 hardware 了。What I learned back then, it's just a 短 6 months only. Yeah. But I learned something that we need to think how the homeowners' usage are. This is very important. No matter what is the material, but you need to know 他们怎么用. And a lot of designers or IDs or even homeowners themselves, they always overlook the hardwares. There are some cases like when I was in Hong Kong, there is this ID and homeowner, they really deep dive into it, like because their place is very small. But even a really small area is super functional to actually host probably a 10-person meal. Yeah, a dinner. Yeah, which it still looks spectacularly clean while doing the dinner. Yeah, because of all these hardware things that they actually incorporate into the small areas. So before you really gonna design out, you need to know the size of individual hardwares to actually incorporate in. Of course, Excel, we have a lot of different dimensions on our products itself, but ID has to probably put a little bit more effort, or even homeowners yourself have to put a bit more efforts to put in your carpentry, your aluminum kitchen cabinet, what kind of things, maybe when I use this Excel products basket, I'm putting in this usage. It's actually very useful for me and lesser hassle for me, much more convenient while I doing my everyday life.
So more meaningful as opposed to just being beautiful. Lor.
Yeah, beautiful is just probably an aesthetic look. 好像交男女朋友一样嘛，你要懂 inner beauty 啊。So hardware is the inner beauty in renovation. Yeah, so usually I will tell my clients like this and even educate my team. Hardware is like a car, the engine of the car. So you don't see it until it fails, then you really know that something is not right with the engine. You need a better quality to move your car. Yeah, so 很重要 hardware.
And half the time we abuse it or we don't think about it. All those things that we don't see, but we feel it and we interact with it on a daily basis is quietly doing its job. And I think that this is why we also wanted to have your voice, and hear from Excel and invited you here is to kind of share with the audience and our followers, right, especially with regards to this unsung hero part of most of your homes, which is hardware law. So thank you so much, Anson. I think we've learned a lot about yourself as well as Excel hardware and the meaning of hardware in most people's home. Don't just focus on the aesthetics and don't just think about it as an afterthought. Incorporate that early. Find a designer that already knows this very well and they can make the design a whole lot more meaningful and exciting. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode of the SIXiDER Show. Thank you so much, Anson, and we look forward to having more vendors and interior designers join us. Join us again in the next episode of the SIXiDER Show. Thank you and goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.